what's up guys, it's Stephen Bloodworth. Welcome back to another video after a very long time of being away. Life has just taken a toll on me for the better, and it's just been an exhausting time, a time where I really wish I could be doing more in front of the camera, but unfortunately that's not been in my favor. I'm hoping to find more time in the future to do more in-depth videos and in-depth reviews. But for right now, I really just want to do something. I want to do something simple, and I figure some of the more simpler videos that I do are going through my DVD collection and talking about certain films. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to go through my collection and check out all the films released by Vile Video Productions. For those that don't know, Vile Video Productions is a distribution label owned by Jonathan Doe of Cinema's Underbelly on YouTube and his company Putrid Productions. I got in contact with John Doe pretty much just before he started taking off on YouTube and when he was a bootlegger, using Putrid Productions as a conservation project for several different underground horror films, different fetish films, and different shockumentaries. Some of the films that I did acquire from him when he was in the bootleg scene were Faces of Gore 3 and the LPS Animal Gore series. In the beginning, when he was going hard at the bootleg scene, when I first got in contact with him, he was pretty much doing away with bootlegging, so at that time he gave me the files to download and I just had to make my own covers. As we developed a friendship, I learned more about his company Putrid Productions as well as his label Vile Video Productions, and I knew I needed to see what it was all about, and it led to a great friendship between the two of us, and it opened doors to me meeting so many more people in the underground community, as well as being exposed to so many different works of art, whether they be extreme underground horror films or fetish films. So I'm going to go through the list of all of the titles from Vile Video Productions that I happen to own. Of course, there are some that I don't own, and I'll go through those as well. I'm going to go down the list in chronological order. There's one or two that I don't own, and maybe one day I'll be able to come across those, but I'm going to start from beginning to end. The first one that I have is Vile Video Productions #1, and that is Renee Wisner's Pulp Films. This is a collection of short films from filmmaker Renee Wisner from when he was a kid. The films span from about 5 minutes to 17 minutes, and I really like watching these films of young filmmakers at their peak. It is something that I used to do when I was a kid, make my own gore films, and it only shows how much Renee Wisner has evolved into a great filmmaker. Now, the second one is the only one that I don't own, and that is Bloodborne. Hopefully one of these days I might be able to find them through one of the people in the underground community, but everybody seems to really like that one, and for some reason that's the one that everyone seems to have the hardest time tracking down. Next up is Jonathan Doe's contribution to the shockumentary genre, a genre that I obviously hold dear to my heart, and that is the Carving the Cadaver series. What's interesting about Carving the Cadaver compared to other shockumentaries is there was a purpose behind making this, as explained by Jonathan Doe. In the making of on the DVD, he explains that he used to not like shockumentary films, he didn't see the point in them, and after some personal events, he started watching them and started liking them and appreciating them. And the films were pretty much his take and response to death. I don't remember exactly what he said the motive of the first film was, but the second film in the series he said was devoted to anger and frustration on death, and the third one was more of a accepting take on death. And overall, I found these films to be explicit, but also very relaxing and very peaceful. But what I think I like the most about this DVD is the bonus feature on the bonus disc called Victims of the Surgeon's Scalpel. And this is a shockumentary basically showing surgery footage. So an amputated foot, for example, and a sex change. And I really wish that Jonathan Doe would continue and do more in not only the Carving the Cadaver trilogy, but really I would love to see more of the Victims of the Surgeon's Scalpel. I thought it was actually fantastic. And that's another thing I forgot to mention about the Vile Video Productions catalog is all the films are diverse from one another. You'll have Pulp Films, for example, and then right after Pulp Films you'll have a shockumentary, and after that a different sort of film. Everything is different. It's a diverse catalog, and really the catalog has something for everyone in the extreme underground community. Next up is another one that is technically not an official release. I actually got this from Patrick Fortin, but it was released in the Vile Video Productions catalog, so I'm just going to include it here, and that's his film Carnival of Gore. If anybody knows Patrick Fortin's work, you know pretty much what to expect with this one, just gratuitous gore and rad special effects. If I can describe it, it's almost like watching a special effects reel, but his effects fucking rock, and this film is really, really bizarre. Something to appreciate, especially if you're into special effects. Another one from director Renee Wisner is his contribution to the Mondo genre, which is in itself a dying genre of film, but he is pretty much one of the only, if not the only, people keeping the genre alive by going to different places of the world and capturing oddities and stuff that people may find taboo on camera. And that's his film Mondo Siam. I know there's been a couple of different releases of this film through different companies. I think Dead Format Films did a VHS of it, but this to me was a really peaceful Mondo film. In fact, the first time watching it, it made me very relaxed to the point where I fell asleep. But it's shot beautifully, and it almost has the feel of an art house film. But if you're into the Mondo genre, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. Next up is Marcus Cook's anthology, Symbolicus Volume 1. This one does feature one of Jonathan Doe's shorts, but it also features films from Patrick Fortin, Joe Meredith, Casper Joll, Michael Todd Schneider, Marcus Cook, Garcias Gwender, Maddie Sokeli, Jeff Shedden, James Bell, Cindy Meredith, Jesse Seitz, and Victor Bonacore. This anthology pretty much has a film in it for just about everyone. I love Marcus Cook. I think Marcus is the biggest supporter of pretty much almost every filmmaker or creator in the underground community, because he'll always find something positive about these people and always encourage and mentor a lot of these people. So Symbolicus to me is a special film, knowing that he saw potential in so many people and wanted to have their work shown. So for anybody that loves anthologies or anybody that just loves independent film, definitely check out Symbolicus. So moving on, this is when Jonathan Doe launched his erotic grotesque nonsense series, and this is the first entry in that series, Barf Bunny. I did the review a while back, and I'll post a link down below if you want to see more, but the film stars Felicia Fisher and includes special effects by Marcus Cook and Jesse Seitz. The film has 2 cuts and a metaphilia cut, and it also includes a pretty rad gore cut. And besides the DVD, I also went ahead and got the limited edition box set, which is now out of print, but all these box sets I really love showing on the shelves, And Barf Bunny is still available, so if you want to check it out, definitely head over to Putrid Productions' website. After Barf Bunny, Jonathan Doe released another one of Renee Wisner's films, and that one is a documentary called Michael, a Murderabilia Memoriam. And this pretty much is a documentary on this guy called Michael, who has just this insane murderabilia collection. His collection varies from owning murderabilia and artwork from people like John Wayne Gacy and Richard Ramirez, and even owning letters from Charles Manson, as well as owning real bones and skulls. I would definitely say this one is intended only for hardcore collectors of murderabilia, but overall, I definitely dug this one. Next up is the second entry in the Erotic Grotesque Nonsense series, and definitely so far my favorite, and that one is The Degenerates. With the EGN series, each film is different in its own right. Jonathan Doe even said that he doesn't want to be a one-trick pony and wants to make each film unique in its own right. So, Barf Bunny was his love letter to films such as Terrible Meal. This one is his love letter to pseudo-snuff films. The film stars the lovely Felicia Fisher and even includes Jonathan Doe. What I liked about this film is it had the feel of a real snuff tape. It was degraded 3 times on VHS, and it's also inspired by the Robert Bekowitz case. I think my favorite aspect of this film that makes it stand out from other pseudo-snuff films is instead of having the film show people kill somebody, it's all post-mortem. So you see Felicia and Jonathan interacting with a corpse after it's been killed. To me, I find that a lot more dark and mean-spirited as opposed to a pseudo-snuff film showing somebody killing someone else. Much like Barf Bunny, I did do a review on this one. I'll post a link in the description below for that for you to see if you want a more in-depth take on the film. And of course, I got the limited edition evidence box set for the film. Next up is Marcus Cook's sequel to Symbolicus Volume 1, and that is Symbolicus Volume 2. The film has the same premise as Symbolicus Volume 1, but also includes films from different directors such as Renee Wisner, Laurie Bowen, Brian Paulin, Rob Cios, Jack Mulvanardi, and Michaela Bellamy, to name a few. I think Volume 2 is just as good, if not better, than Volume 1, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Volume 3 when that comes out. And the last one, as of now, is the latest entry in the Vile Video Productions library, as well as the third entry in the Erotic Grotesque Nonsense series, and that one is Defilement of a Porcelain Doll. What I like about the EGN series is each film gets more extreme than the next. So with Barf Bunny, for example, you had a metaphilia as well as gore. In The Degenerates, you had a metaphilia and gore, but now there was water sports and a scene with a bloody tampon. And in this one, you have the emetophilia, you have the gore, you have the water sports, and then some. I definitely want to do a review on this one in the near future, so I'm not going to say that much about it, but I will say that this one, to me, was pretty dark. I really did not expect what to see. I only knew a little bit about Sailorophilia through films like Face Torture and the LPS films. But Felicia Fisher was great as always, and I also really liked Little Puck. Again, the DVD is available on Putrid Productions' website. And to go along with the rest of the series, I went ahead and got myself the limited edition box set for the film. So that does it for the Vile Video Productions library as of now, but Jonathan Doe did release films under the Putrid Productions label, so I figure I'll go ahead and show those as well. This first one I saw him talking about in his DVD collection video, and I had no idea that he released this under Putrid Productions. I thought that this was just a bootleg when I found a copy until I realized that Putrid Productions was put on it. and that's the film 909 Experiment. I found this one on eBay after watching the video, and this was definitely a really interesting found footage film. The film involves a doctor who pays a couple a few $100s to spend the weekend at this house, and this house is notorious for supernatural occurrences happening. It predates Paranormal Activity. When it comes to found footage films, I'm either hit or miss. This one I thought was pretty okay. So back when Jonathan Doe was doing the bootleg scene, when I was buying some of the films he had available, one that caught my eye was Insuring Your Place in Hell 2. And I asked him, I said, I never knew that there was an Insuring Your Place in Hell 2. And he said, yeah, I made it. So that being Insuring Your Place in Hell 2, I did cover this one back in my Insuring Your Place in Hell review. It follows the same trend as the original Insuring Your Place in Hell. The segments include an exorcism in Turkey, which is pretty much a exorcism performed on a woman. Looks like it was recorded on a cell phone. The second one, Four on the Floor, which is a murder scene. The third one, Experiments in the Revival of Organism, a weird Russian documentary that shows them keeping a dog's head alive after it's been decapitated from its body. And the fourth one, High Impact Hand Safety, which is pretty much a hand safety video like those corporate videos you would see taking a job. Hilarious special effects, but so far out of the 3 Insuring Your Place in Hell films, Jonathan Doe's the only one that has come forward and said that he made one of them. So that's pretty unique, and I'm curious to see if and when there'll be an Insuring Your Place in Hell 4, if the creator will be anonymous, or if they will come forward. And the last one I have is a very rare one, only limited to 5 units. This was a collaboration with Cult Collectibles, and that is the Junko Ferrudo collection. The films included on the set are the films based on the Junko Ferrudo case, and like I said, this one is very limited. As a matter of fact, I got copy 5 out of 5, so I was lucky to have gotten this when I could. So that was all the titles from Vile Video Productions and Putrid Productions that I happen to own in my collection. If you want to get your hands on some of the films that are still available, definitely head over to putridproductions.bigcartel.com. Link will be in the description as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope to do more of these collection videos, and when I do have the time, definitely some more reviews. I have a lot of them scripted and ready to go. It's all just a matter of time. So I hope to see you all soon. If you want to see what I'm up to behind the scenes, you can definitely check me out on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I'll put my links down in the description below. And of course, all links for Jonathan Doe's social media pages as well as Cinema's Underbelly will be posted down below as well. Until next time, take care and stay scared.